Hi, I'm Bic Runga and I'm here talking to Andrew about my new album, Belle. So this is my first record in 5 years. So in that time I've had a 4-year-old, so that's my excuse. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think that's brought to the record?
I think that's informed this record greatly. Before I had Joe, I had a lot of time to spend basically just writing songs and thinking about myself. And when you have a baby, you really have to just get over yourself, And I think I hope that's conveyed in this record. It's more upbeat. It's less introspective. If Birds was a death album, that was about my father dying. This is about life. So that's probably the difference. In the past, I'd written and produced all of my own material, and since my son was born, I think I actually lost a lot of confidence, and I sort of thought I was beginning to sort of be defined by being a housewife, and if you don't really get out to do the thing you really love doing, sometimes you can just think that something's a bit lost. You've lost something. Going to ground like that and really basically losing all my sense of self, was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because I just had to get over myself and let other people in and not be so proud. It wasn't until he was about 3 that I thought I either enlist a lot of help or not make a record at all, And so it was a good humbling experience to just let people help me. The biggest collaborator for me was Cody Nielsen from the Mint Chicks, the lead singer. Our publishers introduced us and suggested we write together. So I wrote with Cody and his brother Ruben, who are both in that band. And I really loved the Mint Chicks. They've since disbanded, or they're on a break. So Cody was kind of at a loose end, and he showed me a lot of stuff that he'd written. He said, do you want any of this material? And it became really clear that he was a very good producer. I don't think many people realise how much he's playing a lot of the instruments on the Mint Chicks records, and he's engineering it and producing it. So I just thought, man, I can't make a record on my own. Then this guy is exactly the right influence for me. I mean, they were a punk band, and they're very uncompromising, and I think if anything, he probably pushed me into that sort of not caring so much, not being so worried, and I think that was hugely helpful. He gave me a lot of strength, basically. Yes, there you go. While this is the most collaborative record I've made, it's still a record of mine, and I don't think it's that huge a departure production-wise, and I think that's a testament to what a good producer Cody is, because he didn't come in and make it sound like the Mint Chicks. He just basically made it sound more like myself, more than I could have done myself. So it's I think that's what a good producer would do. So if you're worried that it wouldn't be your cup of tea, it's more me than ever, I suppose, because I had the objectivity of other people, showing me who I was, So that's probably what's happened there. So the other people I wrote with were James Milne, who is Lawrence Arabia, and him and I wrote a song called "This Girl's Prepared for War," and that's the perfect example of a song that I probably couldn't have written on my own, because we had the line "This girl's prepared to wait" or something like that, and he's like, "No, this girl's prepared for war, and it's way stronger, it's more interesting," and that's probably really an example of what I really needed, in terms of a collaborator, just to toughen it up a little bit. And Dan Hume is the drummer from Evermore, which again we were just put together by our record companies, and he's 12 years younger than I am, so he's but they've made as many records as I have, so he's got lots of exuberance, and he's quite hyper actually, and so I needed that as well. We probably wrote the singles together, and I always think it's because, you know, Evermore are, you know, really extroverted sort of stadium rock band, and my music's really introspective, so he kind of just drew a bit more out of me. After being absent for 5 years, you sort of have to start over again, and we basically, we started out by going back to clubs, you know, and clubs are always going to be that place where you kind of you have to do, is it called woodshedding? Is that the expression? No, you don't know either. Okay. Well, you know, you have to be, that's where you really like get good, you know, you have to, there's very little, there's more connection with the audience, you can see everyone in there, it's tiny, and you just have to be really good, you know. With theatres and the churches, which we'll be doing next, they're seated shows, and there's more distance between you and the audience. So, it's all, clubs. No matter how big you get, I think going back to clubs is the best thing you can do. You know, actually just saw that Prince was playing clubs in LA recently.
Right,
he started doing. I think he played at the Troubadour, which must be like, can't be more than 250, 300. I don't know, but you know. It's not about how big you are, it's just about how important it is for you to get sort of grounded again, re-grounded, I think. I don't know, yeah, it's important to me anyway.
And what's your live setup going to be like now with this?
For the longest time I've wanted to play in a three-piece, because, you know, some of my favourite bands are three-piece, and it just means that there can be nothing superfluous in the arrangement. You know, everyone on stage has to pull their weight, and everything has to be arranged immaculately, and I think that's a really good discipline. So in my band, Cody's on drums, and Michael Logie, who is F in math, is on bass, and those guys were both from the Midgets. So yeah.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Bic Runga, and this is my new album, Belle, out on November 14th. Cheers.